Hello, I'm Teacher Victoria with Lead from Home, a great spot for anyone that has an interest in increasing their bookings, access to your consumers in the online ESL teaching platform. So strengthening your visibility and your relationship with your consumers. Today's video is specific to one of the writing tools or editing tools in the VIPKid platform. Now, this may not be available for all courses, like major courses. I do know that I have seen it on several. Specifically with a writing class, where we're instructing and a little bit more interactive when it comes to sentence patterns. We're teaching the subject, the modal, the verb. We're teaching different sentence patterns. I want to share with you this really interesting tool that when I first started trying to use it, I said, oh my gosh, this is so much, this is time consuming. This isn't going to help. The student will get frustrated. How can I even practice using this tool? Today I had a few moments, explore a bit more, and hopefully these tools that I'm going to share with you, or these tips for this new tool, will help you engage your learner. Again, I would be selective with using it until with a learner that needs a little bit more time. This really does work with instruction. I'll show you how. It's really neat. Open up your classroom, the platform. Check out the bottom of the computer screen where your lessons are populated. So I want you to look at this icon. It honestly, to me, looks like a blue circle with a square in it, a white square, and then 3 little dots on the left-hand side of that square. It should be the first tool within that you can select for interactive functions within the writing class. This is also a feature in the new book report classroom setting. So I hope you enjoy these. Let's check them out. So click on that blue circle with the square and the 3 dots in it, and it will create a text box. Now this is really annoying because it's going to populate right there in the center of the text, and if you're trying to instruct, then this might get a little clunky. One tip that I found, because I couldn't move it, I couldn't drag it, or how I'm double clicking and trying to resize and get it just right, I realized that I wasn't looking for the crosshairs. They're a little hard to find. The crosshairs that we note or we see in other platforms are black, and if you hover over a certain part, your mouse changes. So I tried to pay attention to this. Take a look here. If you select on the actual text box, it gives you the option to click on the A. In other platforms, Word and other places, the A signifies text. So I thought, well, of course, this is a text box, right? I clicked on it and it allows you the options to change your font colors. That made me think of when I was younger and in school or even teaching new concepts, I would color code so that I could recognize patterns by look, visual. I am a visual learner. Forget about it. I'm a tactile learner. I have to learn with engagement in everything that you can think of. So check it out. Let's play with it a little bit. Please forgive my spelling because I was doing this one-handed. You can check in there that I color-coded the words, the subject in red, and then modal because that's the next in the pattern. And you can continue to do this to help the student recognize these patterns. I am a big fan, and we're going to take a short time out, not a unique teaching tool, but one thing that I have learned from behavioral health is care plan treatment. How does it apply to this class? Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest things is telling your story through the course of individualized care. Well, in a sense, we're on the journey with their students. If we're teaching them how to learn these skills, exercises that I like to do is for my early learners is to play a game where they're hiding their face and they're trying to spell the word phonetically and then or spell it out by listening to the letter sounds and the letter blends, right? So let's try it. Happy, Happy. Well, the first couple of times that we teach the student, okay, cover your eyes, they're learning the verbal command. They're learning nonverbal hand gestures or the TPR. Why is this important? We're starting to plant the seed and building on those skills as they continue. One of the mentors and teachers with VIPKid helps with a grammar course, and she is excellent at TPR and saying, okay, these are the subject pronouns and let's group them. And she's using the TPR and she builds on this skill so that when they're early learners all the way up to advanced, all she has to do is just throw up her fingers, 1, 2, 3, and they know, oh, I made an error. We want to encourage that self-editing or self-correcting process. For me, teaching my students, all I have to do is tell them, okay, and I cover my eyes or I peek through them and they know automatically that they're going to spell the word. This helps when when they know that the next step will be phonics. We're going to break it down by syllables or whatever it is. It gets built into the process. Going back to our text box and the color coding, if you're interested in using this resource to help your learner and plan that journey as we go, put this in your feedback. Let the parent know, let the LP know that you are working with them to understand the importance of patterns, sentence patterns, word association, color and word association, and that you're using the tools that are available to you. You don't have to say it in so many words. Of course, keep it simple. This is a great resource. It is a little clunky, but I'm showing you a few more tips. Okay, so let's get back in. We have the color coded. Let's look for those crosshairs or those highlighted features on the outside that help indicate whether or not we can move or size the text box. As you can see, just quickly, there's a very faint white box around the original gray text box. Those are the indicators that you can size and move the text box. Let's check it out. I also want to note that you can see the black arrow turn into the hand cursor. Take a look at what actually activates or deactivates the text box. And what I mean by that is, if you want to size it, you want to make sure that your cursor matches the highlights around. There, again, it's hard to see, but once it's activated, you can move it and you can size it. For sizing, you just make sure that you go to one of those white little squares that are framed around when the text box is activated. You can do that with your hand cursor, size it the way that you want it. I like my text boxes to be fairly thin and small so that they can fit within the line of the text you are about to edit. If you're doing a reading exercise or an editing exercise in the writing class, then this would be a great way to do it. And yes, they can. You can size them to be pretty narrow so that they fit within just basically a copy and paste over. What you need to do once you move it and get it to the right spot is click submit. And that will be your option once it's activated as well. The submit will be an orange tag on the right-hand corner, and then you're good to go. You can also add multiple text boxes to the same paragraph or reading source. Once you get the hang of the moving and adjusting the text boxes down, it's really, that's what takes a little bit of finesse and practice. The tool is actually really useful. It didn't take me but a few minutes during feedback time to play around with it and figure out these little tricks. The text box, let's take a look at it here. If you're moving it and your hand cursor matches the white square for the text box that indicates that it's activated for movement, then your cursor turns into a Mickey Mouse little hand. And I say Mickey Mouse because it looks like a white gloved hand like Mickey Mouse or Mr. Peanut. So choose your icon. There you have it. It's the white gloved hand that will let you know that it is ready to move. The other tip I have is, for example, what happens to me all the time, and it will probably happen to you, is you click too many times on the icon because there might be a delay or you don't see it populate right away. And what I mean by that is the text box pops up and then you're working on it and then you start adjusting it and realize, oh, there's another text box underneath it. If you need to get rid of one of the text boxes, click on the black X in the top right-hand corner, indicating that you do in fact want to delete that text box. It is going to prompt you by saying, are you sure you want to delete this? All of your changes will not be saved. of course, in tech terms, but you're going to say confirm, yes, or cancel if you don't want to delete that text box. Say, for example, you just want to move it and you didn't realize that you were trying to delete it. This prompt will save you. Also know that you can hit the back button in the platform and it will repopulate the text box. Woohoo! Win for us. Okay, so that is all for now. I hope these tips were helpful. I think that this is a resource tool for us to use in the platform. I will admit that it is a little clunky now, so any feedback that you have, I would just encourage, let the team know. Honest opinions are always helpful, and maybe, just maybe, we will get a response for something that's a little easier to use. In the meantime, happy teaching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.